the most impressive performance of the weekend? That's what I'm going to start with you. A macro question. It could be a person. It could be a side of the football, a unit, however you see fit. It would be which or who? Chris Long.
I think it would be the Bengals. I think it would be, they beat the best team the most handily. They jump out to a 14-0 lead on the road. I just felt like coming into this game, a lot of people were counting the Bengals out, and I think one key for them was Carmen coming in and having some reps last week against the Ravens at right tackle and being able to replace Jonah Williams, left tackle rather, a little bit more seamlessly than he would have had he had the spot start. And I thought he looked really good, honestly. And all those guys up front did a nice job. It's just amazing how people counted these guys out. In the NFL, there are some very elite offensive linemen that when you have to replace them, there's a big drop-off, a la Lane Johnson, who played and looked pretty good this weekend. But the Bengals don't have any special guys up front, so maybe the drop-off isn't as big as we think. I think Carmen could play just as well as Jonah Williams, who wasn't having a great year. Needless to say, the Bills coming into this game are thinking we got to exploit these matchups, and they didn't. And I think when you look back at the way the Bills were constructed, you add Von Miller, and he's such a great piece, but their depth got really deep. Depth got pretty shallow, rather, pretty quickly with the loss of Von Miller. And so you got like Shaq Lawson and Epinesa and Basham rushing over what I thought was going to be, a tackle that might have trouble this weekend. So I just think the Bills, there's a couple things they need in the offseason. I think number one is grabbing a number 2 receiver that when you take Diggs away, you can go to this guy reliably, somebody that really scares you. I like Gabe Davis, but you could see how they miss a little bit more firepower. And then on the defensive line, adding pieces so that when you end up in situations like this, you can actually take advantage. But Joe was just lights out. They had matchup problems on the outside, the Bills did, and they just moved the ball down the field the whole game. And the most discouraging thing for the Bills is they ran the ball. They just ran the ball at will. And that's not the game plan there, to be down 14-0 and not be able to stop the run.
Well, that's the Bills' issue to me, Chris, and I'm going to dig into it a little bit later, but I might as well since you kind of opened the door. Their running game, they either abandon it or it's either Josh Allen and nothing else. And to me, having somebody that they can rely on, some running back, a mix of their own. I don't believe it's Singletary, or at least they don't trust him to be a bell cow. James Cook is a nice complementary piece for a rookie. I don't know if he would be ready to step up in that role either, like his brother. But they don't have it. They don't have it. And then when they need it, then it's on Allen to try and create it. And at that point, you take Diggs away, and Gabe Davis might not step forward. Then you got a wrap. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's been my biggest complaint about the Bills all season long. I think Cincinnati's the best team. Coming into the playoffs, obviously you had some O-line issues that got worse, but, I've said over and over again, Cincinnati's the best team in the AFC, like top to bottom. That includes the team they're going to play this weekend. The Bills, quiet as kept, took a step backwards this year. And, I'm sure they missed Dable and that sort of thing, but the line, as you just put it, is so thin between them firing on all cylinders and them being in a slump. Like they found themselves in slumps in various games this season. And, they start the game out slow and they just never got on the right page. And Josh Allen really didn't run the ball for that much. He didn't scramble that much. The design runs didn't do much. So, and Lou Anarumo is a guy who hasn't been talked about enough as a head coaching candidate. That defensive front played really hard. They got after, Dawkins and Saffold. They did a good job in the quarterback run game, so their eyes were in the right place. They limited the big plays. And, they've been turnover machines all season long, ball aware. It wasn't like Josh turned it over a bunch yesterday. But I think this Cincinnati-Kansas City matchup is it's going to be awesome. And, Patrick Mahomes and everything that he's playing through right now, but that changes the dynamic of that ball game. And so Lou's playbook opens up big time because if you look at the time these guys played in December, the first week of December, the Bengals are up 21-3 almost if they get a fourth down early in that ball game in the red zone. Patrick Mahomes jumping in the end zone like that Michael Jordan jump man touchdown that he had against them, all the play extending scrambles in the red zone. He throws his snap to release is like 2.9 seconds. In the red zone, it's up at 3. He buys time with his feet. All that stuff is off the menu. Play action's off the menu. It was off the menu after he got hurt the other day. Of course, Jacksonville didn't blitz him enough. But, he scrambled for one first down. It's just he's not going to be the same. I've played through high ankle. It's really difficult. And it's not going to feel much better. So, for Lou, this really opens the game up for them. They can play more man. They're not worried about Patrick Mahomes beating you with the coverage with their back to the quarterback. You can pressure him. There's just all types of stuff. It'll be interesting to see. They played a lot of cover 3 the first time they played like 15% man. How does that change? And how do they take advantage of this stuff?
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.